Hey guys, it's story time, episode 25, and we're going to be reading out of the Classic Children's Bible Storybook. So if you don't have one of these guys, get one. It's for all ages, and it breaks down the Bible stories in the Bible, and so yeah, it's really good. So yeah. And we're going to be joined by Patrick Square and Stampy Jr. And also, speaking of Stampy, tomorrow is Stampy's birthday. He'll be turning 3. So, yeah. So let me show you guys the pictures. Here's Joseph with his colorful robe. And here's the sun, and I don't know if you could see the moon or not, but it's down right here. So yeah, it's the sun and moon together. But yeah, you're gonna learn about that. So let's get started. And the Bible story title is called Joseph the Dreamer. So let's get started. Joseph the Dreamer, Genesis chapter 37, verse 1 through 11. Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children, because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So one day Jacob had a special gift made for Joseph, a beautiful robe. But his brothers hated Joseph because their father loved him more than the rest of them. They couldn't say a kind word to him. One night Joseph had a dream, and when he told his brothers about it, they hated him more than ever. Genesis chapter 37, verse 3 through 5. So that's the Bible verses there, and here's where they break it down for you guys, if you didn't understand that, which, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory if you read it. But yeah, you just got to ask God to, you know, give you knowledge and, you know, just the gift to recognize and, you know, to understand the Bible verses and chapters, and, you know, just don't grieve for it, but just do what the Lord wants you to do. So, let's get started. Jacob had 12 sons. Joseph was the second youngest, and his father's favorite. The other brothers were jealous of Joseph because their father made such a fuss about him. Once Jacob even had a beautiful robe made for Joseph, and all his brothers envied him. Sometimes Joseph was sent to the pastures where his brothers looked after their father's flocks. Then he would come back and tell tales about them. This annoyed his brothers even more. One night Joseph dreamed a strange dream which really caused his brothers to hate him. Joseph dreamed that they were gathering grain out in the field. All of a sudden, his bundle stood up straight, and the other bundles circled around it and bowed down to his. The brothers were furious. Did it mean that they would bow before Joseph one day? As if that were not enough to drive them up the wall, Joseph had another dream. This time the sun and the moon, so that's the picture, and 11 stars bowed down before him. It was outrageous. Did it imply that his father and mother and 11 brothers would accept him as king? Even Joseph's loving father was not happy. All this dreaming spelled nothing but trouble. So what I think this Bible story means to me, guys, is that Joseph, we now get to the spot where Jacob has his family, and but he had Joseph like second last, like in his old age. That's what I think. But like it says right here that yeah, Jacob had 12 sons. Joseph was the second youngest. So he was the second youngest out of the dozen. Well, there's 12 sons, but Joseph was the second youngest. And that's why Jacob loved Joseph more than his other children, because he had him when he was old. And so then his brothers was like mad at him because Jacob loved Joseph more than them, and so Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful robe, and then that just made the brothers even more angry. And let's see. And then Jacob sent Joseph to his father's flocks to watch them, or something like that. Yeah, looked after his father's flocks. Then he came home telling these tales to his brothers, and that made them even more angry. Then one night Joseph dreamed about like him and his brothers were out in the field, and then all of a sudden these bundles, like Joseph's bundle, stood up straight, and the other bundles, like from the brothers, just like it says here, circled round it and bowed down to his. So is referring as the brothers bowing down to Joseph. And when Joseph told them about the dream, they was angry. Then Joseph had another dream about the sun, the moon, and the stars. 11 stars bowed down before Joseph, and it was asking, like, did it imply that his father and mother and 11 brothers would accept him as a king? So, yeah, like, all of them really wasn't in on that, because it says, even Joseph's loving father was not happy. All his dreaming spelled nothing but trouble. We don't really get nothing from Joseph's mom, but like Jacob and the 11 brothers wasn't too happy about it. They knew it was like trouble, and they knew something was up, and the 11 brothers didn't like Joseph no way. So yeah, and that's basically what it means, guys. It's self-explanatory. But then next week we're going to be reading Jacob is sold into slavery. So yeah, there's Jacob way out in the field, and here's his brothers, and maybe dad, basically, I guess. I think it's his brothers, because Jacob don't know that Joseph got sold to slavery. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment below. Don't forget, guys, Jesus saves. And don't forget, don't take the chip, and eat some Oreos on my other channel. And God bless, guys. Keep on subscribing. And shout out to Emma and more of the ones that subscribe to me. So hello to all my new Oreo friends. Keep on subscribing.